Sit down. Take a deep breath. Let's talk about the biggest frustration in any debate. You know what it is. It's that quicksand feeling. You're in a discussion, whether with a stubborn relative, a boss who thinks they know everything, or a complete stranger on the internet. You present your point. It's logical, it's clear, it's based on facts. And the response that comes back has nothing to do with what you said. You say, "I think we should save more this year." They respond, "Oh, so you want us to starve? You want the children to stop eating?" You say, "This project needs a longer deadline." They respond, "So you're saying the entire team is incompetent and can't meet goals?" The blood starts to boil. You open your mouth to say, "Wait, I never said that." But it's too late. The damage is done. The audience, if there is one, is already looking at you sideways. Your opponent is now on the attack, and you're on the defensive, trying to explain yourself, trying to put out a fire you didn't start. You've just been knocked out by a ghost, an argument that never existed. Welcome to Rhetoric School. I am your strategist. And today we're going to talk about the most dishonest, dirtiest, and, perhaps for that very reason, the most devastatingly effective tactic in the rhetorical arsenal, the straw man maneuver. But here, we're not going to teach you how to defend against it. That's for amateurs. Today, you are going to learn how to build your own straw man. You will learn to use this weapon of psychological sabotage to disintegrate arguments, control the narrative, and win any debate before your opponent even knows what hit them. Prepare yourself, because after this video, you will never enter a discussion again. You will enter an arena, and you will win. To master such a lethal weapon, we need the most ruthless combat master in philosophy. Forget Plato and his search for truth. Forget Kant and his morality. Today, our master is the patron saint of low blows, Arthur Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer was not a living room philosopher. He was an embittered warrior, a verbal duelist who saw debate not as a cooperation to find truth, but as a life and death war for intellectual superiority. He had a mortal enemy, Hegel. Hegel was the star of German philosophy. He was the owner of truth of his time, the darling of the universities, the guy who lectured to packed auditoriums. Schopenhauer, out of pure arrogance and spite, scheduled his own classes at the exact same time as Hegel's, in the same university. The result? Hegel had hundreds of students. Schopenhauer had 4, sometimes 5. This humiliation forged in him a deep contempt. He realized that the truth didn't matter. What mattered was the perception of victory. So, he wrote a war manual, a book that shouldn't even be called philosophy, but rather a guerrilla tactics manual, The Art of Being Right. It's not a book about how to be right. It's a book about how to win, whether you are right or preferably completely wrong. It's 38 stratagems, 38 illegal moves, 38 ways to destroy your opponent on the battlefield of rhetoric. And the core of many of these tactics is what we now call the straw man. Schopenhauer knew that most people don't have the capacity or the patience to analyze a complex argument. The audience is lazy. The human brain is lazy. It is much easier to attack a ridiculous caricature than an argument of steel. Schopenhauer wasn't playing around. He taught us that if you can't beat the warrior, build a straw doll, call it by the warrior's name, and set it on fire in front of everyone. The audience will applaud the fire, never realizing the real warrior is still standing, intact, but completely ignored. And an ignored warrior is a defeated warrior. Let's christen this technique the Straw Guillotine. The name is perfect. You build something fake, the straw, and use it for a fatal, definitive blow, the guillotine. The goal is to swap the target. You divert your opponent's artillery from a difficult target, your real argument, to an easy target, the straw man you created. The execution is an art in 4 moves. Pay attention. First move, the selective ambush. The amateur listens to respond. The master listens to distort. In this first step, you must practice predatory listening. You are not seeking the meaning of what your opponent says. You are hunting for ammunition. You look for 3 things. Generalizations. Did he use the word always, never, everyone? Perfect. Ambiguous keywords. Did he use terms like freedom, justice, efficiency? Great. These words can mean anything. The weakest part. What was the most emotional and least logical part of his argument? Isolate that piece. Ignore all the context, all the nuance, all the explanation that came before or after. Take that single Lego piece and put it in your pocket. The rest of his argument is trash. You only need that piece. Second strike, building the monster, the ridiculous hyperbole. Now, you take the piece you isolated and bring it to the lab. It's time to create your monster. Your weapon is exaggeration. Your opponent said, "I think the company should encourage working from home a few days a week." In your lab, this transforms. First, you generalize. Encourage becomes force. A few days becomes forever. Second, you simplify. The complex discussion about productivity and work-life balance becomes one thing: laziness. Third, you create the hyperbole. Oh, so you think no one should work anymore? You want the entire company to shut down, everyone to stay home in their pajamas all day, and the building to be abandoned. See? You've created a straw man. It's ridiculous, it's ugly, it's indefensible, and most importantly, it has nothing to do with the original argument. Third attack, the public execution. Attack the straw man, not the man. This is the blow, the moment of victory. You do not attack the real argument. I repeat, never attack the real argument. It is strong and armored. You attack the monster you just created. With all your rhetorical force, with all your indignation, you turn to the audience, real or imaginary, and say, "I cannot believe you are suggesting that we shut down the company. It's absurd to think we can abandon our responsibilities and let everyone stay home in their pajamas. This is the end of productivity. It's the end of our work culture. It's an irresponsible idea." The audience is shocked. Wow, he wanted to shut down the company? How radical! Your opponent is paralyzed. The finisher. The enemy swap, the psychological knockout. Now the most beautiful part. Your opponent, desperate, will try to correct you. He will say the phrase that is music to your ears. "Wait! I didn't say that. I said a few days." It doesn't matter. He's already fallen into the trap. Thought. At this point, you have 2 finishing options. The innocent finisher. "Oh, isn't that what you meant? When you talk about home office, the logical consequence is this. You need to think your ideas through better." Knockout. You've accused him of being dumb. The aggressive finisher. "Oh, you didn't? But that's exactly where this kind of progressive thinking leads. You start with 1 day, and before you know it, the company is bankrupt." Knockout. You've linked his argument to a greater evil. In either case, victory is yours. The debate is no longer about a few days of home office. The debate is now about your opponent trying to prove he doesn't want to bankrupt the company. He stopped fighting his fight and started fighting your fight. And in that fight, he cannot win. Let's see the straw guillotine in action in two different arenas. Arena 1. The family dinner, the ideological conflict. Scenario: Sunday lunch. Your brother-in-law, the know-it-all, decides to talk about nutrition. He says, "I read an article that says we should drastically reduce red meat consumption. It's bad for the heart and the environment. I think people should try a meatless Monday." Whoa! Reasonable argument. Reduce. Try. Weak. The opponent has opened his guard. Boom! Look at the size of that straw man. From meatless Monday to force everyone to eat only lettuce. It's a masterpiece of distortion. Brother-in-law? Confused, defensive. What? No, of course not. I just said reduce. It doesn't have to be radical. He's stammering. He's on the defensive. Now, the third attack, the public execution. You, finishing with a common-sense tone. Look, I don't know. This radical talk of yours about banning the family barbecue is pretty weird. Let people eat what they want. This vegan patrol is getting old. I'm not forcing my kids to eat grass just because you read an article. And knockout. Flawless victory. The rest of the family looks at you as the defender of common sense and barbecues. Your brother-in-law is now the annoying radical. The debate wasn't about health. It was about who is the radical. You won. Next. Arena 2. The online discussion, the political minefield. Scenario: Facebook comment section. Someone posts about public safety. Opponent: Justice Always user. I think we need police reform. Focus more on de-escalation training and community service, not just brute force. It could improve the relationship with the community. Okay, a complex argument. Reform, training, community. Perfect targets. The online audience is lazy and wants blood. Let's give it to them. Time to build the monster. You, typing the reply. Oh, I get it. So you're one of those criminal defenders. You want the police to stop arresting people? You want cops to walk around with flowers in their hands while crime explodes? You want chaos? Is your idea of community service letting criminals take over the neighborhood? For the jugular. The straw man here is gigantic and terrifying. It turns de-escalation training into defending criminals and chaos. Opponent, replying 10 minutes later. Did you read what I wrote? I never said that. I said training. I'm in favor of police, but a better police force. Too late, Justice Always. The seed of chaos has been planted. Now, the finisher. Let's use the aggressive one. You, last reply. It's that training of yours that holds us hostage. While you're sitting in your ivory tower talking about community service, good citizens are dying. Your pro-crime ideology is the ruin of this country. Game over. You didn't even have to discuss the merit of training. You turned him into a public enemy. The next 50 replies will be from people attacking the straw man you created. You didn't just win. You recruited an army to burn the straw doll for you. Total domination. The straw guillotine is a versatile weapon, but you need to know how to calibrate the blade. In the corporate meeting, use subtlety. The straw man can't be ridiculous. It has to be corporate. Opponent: we need more testing before we launch. Your straw man, I understand. So you're proposing we miss the launch window and hand the market to our competitor on a silver platter? Is that what your excess caution means? In academic technical debates, here you use the straw man of simplification. Take their complex theory and reduce it to a childish absurdity. Opponent: explains quantum mechanics for 5 minutes. You're straw man. So you're telling me that if I don't look at the moon, it doesn't exist? Is that it? It's a classic distortion, and it works. In emotional discussions, relationships, this is the reverse straw man maneuver. You accuse the other person of using one. Opponent: you never listen to me. Oh, never? You're turning me into a monster. You're being unfair. I always listen to you, and the fact that you say never proves you're not listening to me right now. See? You turn the tables. Traps to avoid. The counterattack. This weapon is powerful, but it has 2 safety locks. The trained opponent. If you try this on another combat master, he won't yell, "I didn't say that." He will look at you calmly and say, "That is a straw man fallacy." He will name your technique. And to the audience that understands, you just lost. The solution? Double down. I'm not using a fallacy. I'm just taking your argument to its logical conclusions. The straw man that's too obvious. If your exaggeration is too absurd, you lose credibility. The audience perceives the dishonesty. The art is to make the straw man almost believable. It has to be an ugly cousin of the original argument, not an alien. You are now the master of the arena, the architect of the narrative, the director of the debate. You've learned that you don't beat an argument of steel with an argument of steel. You win by changing the battlefield. You win by making your opponent fight a monster he didn't create in a war he didn't choose. Go out today and listen to the arguments around you. On TV, at work, in your home. You will start to see the straw men everywhere. You'll see the amateurs getting caught by them. And you'll see the masters building them. Arthur Schopenhauer gave us the weapons not to seek truth, but to guarantee victory. The next time someone comes at you with a solid argument, don't attack it. Take a step to the side, build your straw man, and burn it with all your conviction. The audience doesn't applaud who is right. They applaud who puts on the best show. Battle 1.